Hello, lovely people. My name is Tom Ross, and welcome to the Honest Entrepreneur Show, where I am bringing you tried and tested advice to help your online business without any of the bullshit. So last episode, I did a bunch of Q&A with your fantastic questions that you sent me on Instagram, and I kind of put it out there and was like, support this, leave some comments if you want me to do more of it. But I'm going ahead and I'm doing more anyway because I enjoy it. So I've got a bunch more questions I wanted to cover. I hope you guys find it helpful. And again, let me know in the comments if you enjoy this kind of format, because I really do like the energy of it. I feel good knowing that my answers are going to hopefully directly help the people that asked their questions. So let's jump right in. Tanya asks, what things to include when writing an about page / elevator pitch? Please. I like the little note of desperation at the end of that question. In fact, Tanya, I can see, ended that with an exclamation mark. So I guess not so much a question as a demand, but happy to help, Tanya. So the about page, this is a really good question, and it's something that I learned from one of my former business mentors, Mr. Chase Reeves, who is a genius with this stuff. And he basically taught me an about page should ironically not really be about you, or not in the way you think. It should be more about your audience. And that always kind of throws people when I tell them that, but it is so true and it's so effective. Let me explain. So normally you go on someone's about page and it's like, hey, my name's Sally and I'm a coffee addict and I've got 2 dogs and I grew up in Rhode Island and da-da-da. Like, it's boring, right? It's like their life story. It's like, okay, great, I got to know you a bit better. But even like that, it's not as much as like getting to know them in social media videos and whatnot. The best way to do an about page is to talk about the value that you're going to bring your audience. So let's say, all right, I'll go with my example. I'm the honest entrepreneur, but I don't even have an about page right now. But when I set it up, it is not going to be like, my name's Tom and I was born here and I grew up and like da-da-da. Like, it's going to be, my name's Tom, but I go by the honest entrepreneur. Like, my biggest passion in life is helping people like you, creative entrepreneurs, with what they're doing, finding clarity in a sea of bullshit and noise and hucksters and sleazebag marketers. I want to teach you the right way to do this stuff, where it can be creative and fun, and most of all, highly effective. So if you're on my website right now, then this is the place to learn all of that. And I'm giving it away for free just because I love helping folk. And if you want to message me, I'll give you some extra help as well. So welcome to the site. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get tons of value, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you. That could be an example of an about page. If you're an illustrator, which I know Tanya is, then it could be like, welcome to my little corner of the web. My name's Tanya, and I do this type of illustration, which I hope is going to delight you and bring a little joy to your day. I do this type of work for these type of people, and I hope you're that type of person too. And so I hope that you're really going to enjoy my illustration, my teaching, if she gets into that kind of thing. If you're the kind of person that enjoys quirky prints, we offer that too. So you know what I mean? It's making it more about them and instantly telling them what value they're going to get from your website, rather than just laying your life story on them. So I hope that helps. I hope I did Chase's explanation justice there, but that is the long and short of it. Make it about them, not you. So Lottie Aldowish asks how to show up consistently on your business social media when you are swamped with client work. This is a great question. First of all, realize that when you're swamped, it's just going to be hard. I could give you like the hustler answer, which is like, just fucking fit it in and like keep pumping out content 24/7. I don't give a shit how busy you are. But obviously that's not me. I'm the honest entrepreneur. I like to impart balance, I hope. So the truth is, if you're completely swamped, cut yourself a break. I posted once in the last week on my Instagram. And yeah, I beat myself up about that a bit. Yeah, I know I'm not going to be doing as well as if I was more active on social media, but I also had a bunch of crazy busy shit going on with my company. So I'm a realist, right? I can't do it all. I'm only one person. I think you need to do the same. That being said, if you are perpetually busy, which I kind of seem to be at the minute, then maybe it is time just to look at your priorities, because essentially what you're doing is you're deprioritizing your social media. You are saying other things are more important, and they might be. Maybe you're spending that time earning money to put food on the table for your family, and if you didn't do that and you spent that time on social media, then you guys would be destitute. In which case I'm like, okay, forget social media. That's not the priority. But if you seem to continually put it in second place or like 17th place and never get to it and always prioritize other things, then manage your expectations. You are going to build a brand slower. You're going to build an audience slower, a fan base slower. You will miss out on a lot of the opportunities that social media afford you, particularly in the long term when you scale it up, if you're not going to allocate time to it now. So think of it the same way you think about going to the gym or exercising, right? It might not matter if I skip a workout today, but if I keep shunting that off my to-do list, I keep failing to prioritize it, then I'm not going to be in very good shape. But if I keep showing up every week and possibly every single day, over time, I'm going to get fitter and fitter and fitter, and I'm going to reap the rewards down the line. So same thing with your social media. The question is, how bad do you want it? So Yoko Studio asks, how do you know which fights to fight and which to let go? Another great question. Another question which is very, very personal to me. I can't even get into this question as honestly as I would like for legal reasons, unfortunately. But essentially, I was very, very badly burned in the business world in my past. And I chose to eventually let go of that fight because I realized if I held on to it, it was going to suck all my time, all my attention. And even though I've been very screwed over, I basically thought it's not worth it. I had to just pick myself up, keep on going and push forward in a positive, optimistic direction. And I think that's generally the answer. Obviously, don't let people walk all over you. Don't be bullied, like none of that kind of stuff. But holding on to stuff and just fighting, that's not really within my nature. You know, I like creating. I like bringing new, cool shit to the world. And if I'm constantly there holding on to every squabble or every fight I ever had, then I would be very, very reactive and I would not be proactive in pushing forward new pursuits. And that's the stuff that genuinely excites me. So I obviously don't know your personal circumstance with regards to this question, but I think, like, to give you an example, a lot of the designers we work with and the guys I do the Honest Designers show podcasts with, they get upset when people steal their work and they rip them off and that kind of thing. That is a fight they could be having, right? But generally, the conclusion they reach is, I could spend all day dealing with that, but I wouldn't have a career. Yeah, I could have a few wins in the legal system against these people, but it would drain me. I'd feel depressed, I'd feel anxious, and I wouldn't have all the fun I'm having over here creating cool new stuff. So I think that strategy is generally the best one to go after, but obviously it depends what the fight is. It's going to ultimately be your call. So another question is from Ukes Marons. I hope I'm saying that right. And she asks, what comment from a friend or loved one really brought you down and how did you recover? I'll be honest, I'm pretty lucky with my friends and loved ones. They are very, very supportive and I'm very thankful for that. However, heart on sleeve here, the honest entrepreneur after all, I'm pretty sensitive. I'm a pretty sensitive snowflake with this stuff. I take stuff to heart. I think it's the creative in me. I need that affirmation. I need that approval. It's literally why I kind of thrive on the comments and the reviews and feedback I get from this show, because that's what keeps me going. Yet, like so many of us, I will fixate on the one bad review, or not that I have any yet. Please don't leave me one though. Or the one bad comment on social media or email or whatever. I fixate on that stuff, and the same thing plays out in real life. So on occasions where my loved ones might not have been quite as supportive as normal, or I felt like some passive judgment, I will read way too much into that because I care what people think about me. I wish I didn't. I wish I was one of these super slick, cool people where it's like, I don't give a fuck what the world think about me. I'm just going to do my thing. But that's not me. I'm a bit of a people pleaser. I need that affirmation from the world. I need it from my loved ones. So how I recover, I guess I see the bigger picture. I try and pull myself out of that slump I get if I get a knock like that. I go and read positive comments, positive reviews. I get out of my head. I always talk about this. When you bounce around in your own head with your own insecurities, very bad place to be. When you get out into other people's heads, it's a great way to move past that. So if I start helping more people, getting into more conversations, more phone calls, more DMs, then suddenly I've left that negative comment behind me and I'm into a bunch of new, more positive, more encouraging interactions. So that definitely helps. And final question is from Robin Goncalves. I'm going to hope, yeah, Calves. It can't be calves. Goncalves. Thank you. Sorry, Robin. Although Venezuelan Marco behind the camera saved me on that one. Goncalves. Is that it? Okay, forget it. I don't know why I've done the Italian. Yeah, just merging cultures here. I do apologize. But yeah, Robin adds, how do you find your thing in a world where it seems so many are already doing everything you love? I love this question because I feel this way. Every creator feels this way. Every entrepreneur feels this way. Every good idea has been thought up, right? Every style has been explored, yet we know that not to be true. It's natural to feel that way. But every day, every moment, people are iterating and evolving. Look at it with music. There's constantly new artists breaking out. Look at it with design. There's constantly new designers. There's constantly new books, authors, podcasters, entrepreneurs, business people. It's all being done. Inventions, like all the time, right? Every year, there's a plethora of stuff where people look at it and go, oh man, I wish I thought of that. You got to just evolve to be one of these people. You got to get out of the mindset of it's all been done, because if you're in that pessimistic mindset, you're shutting down the opportunity. You're shutting down creativity in itself. So first of all is like shift your mindset. Then it's like, how do you stand out, right? How do you stand out in a sea of noise? And for me, there's a few angles here. So one is simply be the best. And I talked about this recently in my episode where I was talking about how David Bowie helped give me a business strategy that let me systematically become the best in our industry. So I recommend going and checking that out. The idea being that you can essentially do the same as what other people are doing, but you're going to stand out and rise above them by simply doing a better job in every single area of that thing than they're doing. So that is one way. Another way is just to try and champion uniqueness, right? I know I'm doing a talk tomorrow actually about how to successfully sell digital products. And in that case, same thing, right? A lot of people are ripping people off. There's a bunch of brush scripts out there. There's a bunch of people looking at popular products and creating their own knockoff versions of it. And you're never going to win that way, right? You have to come up with something unique if you want to be a true blockbuster success. And thinking about digital products, look at The Portrait Creator by Lisa Glanz. Look at The Grid Builder by Ian Barnard. Both highly, highly innovative products, the first of their kind. And funny enough, they're the ones that sell like hotcakes. People jump all over, and then people rip off and copy and iterate on forever. But those rip-offs, they never do as well as the original. So I guess your question is like, how do you become the portrait creator? How do you become the grid builder? And for me, and this is what I'm putting into my talk, think of like a Venn diagram, right? You've got those connecting circles, and there's 3 of them. One circle is your talents and your passions and your skills. The other circle is market. So market demand, supply and demand, all that kind of stuff. Is the market interested in what it is you're offering? How interested are they? How many potential customers, members, whatever, followers are out there about this thing? And then the bottom one is uniqueness. And that is where you should be looking. In fact, let me have a look at what you do, Robin. Okay, so it looks like Robin is a designer that dabbles in all kinds of stuff, but I can see like some hand lettering there, some different types of work, and that's awesome. And yes, they're very, very saturated spaces. But for example, in the lettering field, we had James Lewis on at Design Cuts, who does hand-painted, super precise 3D lettering, where it literally looks like it's jumping off of the page. Instantly, that sets him apart from the millions of people who are doing like an unsplash photo with get lost in the woods or something generic like that. And he completely flipped the script, and he did a style which only a small handful of people seem to be doing. I never see anyone else doing that style on Instagram. I'm sure there's people ripping him off now. But honestly, when I think of that type of lettering, I think of him because he's the only one I know doing that very actively. So that's the way he took his skill, that top circle, that talent, that passion, that skill for hand lettering. He mixed it with a healthy dose of uniqueness, and then there was market demand because tons of people are into that style and it's more underserved, and it's going to be so much easier to break out, to stand out when you tick those boxes, because any people interested in that kind of lettering, and there's obviously a bunch of them following him, like 300,000 plus, they are going to pay attention to him because there's not also 2 million other people doing that exact style. So he's getting drowned in a sea of noise. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that was helpful. And yeah, best of luck. Like anyone who I covered your question today, please do hit me up if you've got any follow-up questions, or anyone who's just tuned in watching, if you've got any follow-up questions or you want any extra detail on these points, let me know in the comments, let me know in the DMs. I'm always happy to elaborate. But like I always say, I enjoy doing these episodes. Thank you for sending in the questions. You guys are awesome. And on that note, I will see you next time. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode. Really appreciate you being here with me. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe right here on YouTube. Remember, tick the little bell icon so that you get proper notifications. I really hope you're enjoying the show. I hope you'll stick around for the upcoming episodes. I really want to keep bringing you as much value as possible. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you guys soon.